roast gets a baste, and the scolding is a lamb-based. Well, David, it was fascinating last night hearing those words from the Harry Potter series, from the rolling pen, become real words in the dictionary. But, you know, it's not the first time an author's had that sort of influence, is it?
No, not at all. In fact, it's always an encouragement for aspiring authors to think that you could create a word here in this dictionary, such as Charles Dickens did with such prolific ease and grace. During the 1800s, he came up with many words such as Scrooge, being a miser. These were characters that he created, and it made such a sharp impression upon the reader that the character's qualities then evolved into a word itself. And three lesser-known characters that have that same Dickens background. The first is Micawber, M-I-C-A-W-B-E-R. And Micawber is someone who has sort of unthinkable optimism, someone who always just relies on good fortune rather than making any sort of wise provision. And Wilkins Micawber was a character in David Copperfield, who was an assistant to Uriah Heep. And despite ending up in debtor's prison, he always saw the bright side, thought that things would work out in the end. Now, the other two is a gamp, G-A-M-P, which is a large and unwieldy umbrella. Now, that does have a small g. Now, Gamp is actually a reference to Sarah Gamp, or Sari Gamp, who was a drunken nurse in Martin Chuzzlewit. And she was always trying to sort of wrestle with this wild umbrella. So a Gamp is a UK slang for a large umbrella, particularly one that's sort of been blowing around in a crowd. And the other is Pecksniffian. It's Peck and then Sniffian, S-N-I-F-F-I-A-N.
That's a word and a half.
It is. And this one's named after Seth Pecksniff from the same novel. And this is someone who sort of puts on a very kind of benevolent front, as though they're really caring for you or the morals of the day. But in fact, they're an outrageous hypocrite. And interesting that Pecksniff was an architect who never seemed to build anything except a sort of terrible reputation. So Pecksniffian, it's important. It's not just hypocritical. It's also putting on that sort of, you know, benign and sort of unctuous front, when all the way you're being sort of quite duplicitous.
Intriguing words from Dickens there, David. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Let's look at our scores. Katie is on 6. Christopher, only 1 point ahead on 7 as we head for our next letters. And Katie, you to choose.
Okay, I'd like a consonant, please, Lily.
Thanks, Katie. Let's start with N.
And another consonant.
L.
Another.
C.
A vowel, please.
E.
A consonant.
C.
Another vowel.
A.
Another vowel.
O.
Another vowel.
I.
And a consonant to finish.
And last letter, R.
Time starts now. How did you go with those, Katie?
6 again.
Christopher?
I'll also go with the 6, Richard.
Let's have yours, please.
Client.
And yours, Katie?
Recant.
Couple of good 6s, David?
Good 6s, but surprisingly, because in last night's show when we had John, who magnificently found a full Monty, that full Monty was relations. And there is relation sitting there in the singular form for 8, and other such beautiful words as clarinet and the American word for coriander, cilantro, also there.
Very nicely found, David, but 6 points each, Christopher and Katie. Time for some more letters now, and Christopher, you always seem to find a good way of introducing your letter choices. What have you got for us?
Well, Richard, I don't normally go out on a whim just for the sake of it, but it is hump day, so Lily, can you treat me to a vowel, please?
Thanks, Christopher. That put me off. E.
I'll have a second vowel, thank you.
A.
And some consonants, please.
S.
Another consonant, please.
D.
Another consonant, please.
T.
Another consonant, please.
J.
A consonant, please, Louis.
S.
A vowel.
O.
And we'll finish with the consonant, thanks.
And last letter, N.
30 seconds on the clock. How did you go, Christopher?
5, Richard.
Katie?
Take a wild guess.
Would it be a 6?
I think it is.
Excellent. But hang on to it for a moment. Christopher?
I got stuck on nosed.
Okay, interesting place to be stuck. What was your 6, Katie?
Tossed.
She has done very nicely after sticking with those 6s all that while.
She has, and I'm wondering if it was my reference of Peck Sniffian that made poor old Christopher think of nosed. Tossed is good. Stones is also there. And the only 7 that I could find here, Richard, is donates.
Well done, and Katie's 6 came good. So, Katie, you've taken the lead by 5 points. What numbers would you like?
Harking back to my calling as a teacher, I'll have 1 large and 5 small, please.
Thanks, Katie. That's 1 teacher and 5 students. And starting with the smalls, 2, 5, 1, 6, 7, and the large is 50. The target to reach is 832.
Thanks, Lily. Let's chase it. Well, Katie, how did you go with those numbers?
I believe I have 830.
830, just 2 away. Good going. Christopher?
I also have 830, Richard.
830 for you too.
Yep.
Okay. Katie, tell us what you did, please.
Okay, Lily, I multiplied the 50 and the 2.
50 by the 2 is 100.
I added the 7 and 1 to get my 8.
7 plus 1 is 8.
Multiply those together for 800.
800.
And then to get 30, I multiplied 5 by 6.
5 by 6 is 30, and that on is 830.
So, nice going. Only 2 away from the target. Christopher, you were on the same total. Did you do it the same way?
Slightly differently. I had 7 plus 1 is 8, Lily.
7 plus 1 is 8.
I multiplied that by 2 to get 16.
By 2 is 16.
16 times 50 is 800.
800
Then I added 5 times 6, which is 30.
plus 5 by 6 is 30.
To get 830.
830.
So, we're 2 away, Lily, but
Yes.
can you get us closer?
I can, and it was tricky, but my initial thought was 8 by 4 is 32, so if we can tweak it somehow and get 104 by 8, you'd get 832. So how do you get 104? Now, 50 plus 5 by the 2 is 110, and 110 minus 6 is 104, so 104 by 7 plus 1, which is 8, gives you 832.
Very nice bit of reasoning. And right through that target. Nicely done, Lily. But well done, Christopher and Katie also. They both scored 7 points as we head for another break. Another word mix for you, of course. Song idea. The clue this time, smell the identity of a problem. Back soon.